Hey everyone, it's me Jay, and before I start this video, I want to say a big thank you to all my new subscribers. I just reached 2,000 and it's so crazy because I never thought that I'd ever see that number. So welcome, and also a big thank you to anyone who has bought my album. It's helped me out so much, and if you want to buy my album or even listen to it, the link is in the description and it'll help me out so much. I'm struggling and I just need to pay rent. So if you guys want to download my album, I'll leave the description down there. So thank you guys for everything. And I kind of wanted to talk about this story because I recently came to light again. I had completely forgotten about it, but I was talking to my girlfriend and it's crazy and it involves my transition. And I thought that I should share it because I thought that it could spread positivity out into the trans community. Because I know sometimes it's hard to find some positive news and some good news. And this involves me getting someone fired. And so the way that this story starts out is my girlfriend was working, and she still is working at this restaurant on campus, and she had just started working there, and I always hung out. This was me pre-transition, so it was over a year ago. I was already kind of out, but I didn't really present myself in a feminine way, and it was pre-hormones, so it was just kind of like an awkward stage. I always hung out at the restaurant because my girlfriend was cashier, and I just like to buy food there, do my homework, and just kind of wait until she clocked out so I could drive her back home, because a lot of times she got out at 2 in the morning and I wanted to make sure she was safe and drive her back to her dorm. So I just hung out there a lot. And so her coworkers began noticing me and asking questions about me. And so she told everyone that we were dating, and people were starting to refer to me as her boyfriend. And Emily is the most amazing person in the entire world, because like flat out she was like, no, actually she's my girlfriend, she's trans, she hasn't started her transition yet, but she's looking for doctors to start it. And she kind of explained everything to everyone. Any question that anybody had, she explained it to them. And it was just so cool to see the amount of support I got from her coworkers, people using the correct pronouns before I even started transitioning. It was just amazing, because I was so scared that I wouldn't be able to find a community, because I had just moved to Gainesville at the time, so everything was so new and I was so scared. And honestly, the support I got from her coworkers really helped me in my transitioning process and just kind of pushed me to kind of get everything started. Besides her amazing coworkers that accepted me, there was one who was a little different, one who was very blunt and liked to say and ask things that made Emily really uncomfortable and made Emily really mad. So she explained everything to everyone about me being trans and kind of the process and everything. And this one kid, he didn't get it. He would go up to Emily and ask her these very, very personal questions and ask if I'm a girl, how come I don't look like a girl? All these questions, and anytime that I'd go up to the counter and talk to Emily, he'd come up to me and ask me these really, really personal questions about my transition. And as a pre-transition trans girl, it was really hard to express and explain my situation. I was still really awkward. I didn't like talking to people. It was just really, really hard. And I shouldn't have to explain anything to anyone. It should just be, I'm trans, I go by she, her, her, and like that's it. But this guy, he did not care about anyone's feelings, and he just kept asking personal questions about my transition. He was like, okay, so if this means this, like if you're actually a girl, then why do you look like a boy? Like, why do you wear masculine clothes? Just all these really personal questions. And so there were times where like I figured maybe, he's just young, he doesn't get it, but like, we'll explain it to him, and then, it'll be good. He'll call me by my preferred pronouns and everything will be fine. But it never got to that point. There was like times where he did use my correct pronouns, but like he just liked saying things to make me mad and make me uncomfortable, because it was just some kind of sick game for him. So he just kept insinuating his opinion on my transition, making these like subtle comments about me being trans, and it would make me so mad. And I would always hate visiting Emily because he would always come out and say something to me. And so it got to this point where I was visiting her one night and I was just hanging out talking to her, and he asked a question about Emily, about me, and it wasn't anything to do with my transition, but Emily answered. Emily said she, and was just talking about me. And then he like interrupted her, stopped her in the middle of her sentence and said, "Why are you saying her when it's obviously a guy?" And like at that point, I like was so pissed off. I couldn't believe that he had said that, and I just stormed out. I was just really, really mad, and I couldn't believe it. And luckily there were several employees around that heard what he had said and saw me storm out. And at the time I was a customer. I frequently bought food there. I was just usually there to see Emily. So in this situation, it was like an employee of a restaurant insulting a customer, making me storm out. Management found out and had a conversation with Emily, and Emily explained to them how he just kept asking inappropriate questions and how he just kept saying these very, very rude things to me. So the next day they called him in and they were like, "It's the final straw. You've made mistakes before and you're fired." And so when I heard about this, I was completely shook. I was like, oh my God, I just got someone fired, and I felt really bad. But looking at the specifics, I was like, you know what? He treated me like shit, and I wasn't doing anything wrong, and you know, he deserved to get fired. And the funny part that really makes me laugh is about a week later, I had applied to like the same company Emily was working at, but the way that it works is that on the university, there's like a million different restaurants. I had applied to just work in food, so my application gets sent to every management that works at every restaurant. There's probably a good maybe 50 restaurants on campus, and I had just applied to it because I needed a job and I was tired of working at Domino's, and I wanted a place that was more trans friendly because I was about to start my transition. And so like a week later, I get a phone call from the manager of the restaurant that Emily was working at, and they were like, "Hey, do you want to come in for an interview?" I don't think the manager really knew at the time that it was me that was a trans person that got the guy fired. But so when I showed up, I just like was in masculine clothes, and I just did my interview, and my manager was so cool. He was like, "Yeah, you can start working here." It was kind of like I replaced him, and it's just really funny. I think back and I just like, I'm so happy that I found a community when I was so scared that there would be no community. And it's awesome because in the LGBT community, you have to find your safe spaces, your small safe spaces in bigger places. And oftentimes my girlfriend was my safe space anywhere I went. And now I kind of have the best of both worlds because I have a supportive place that I work, and I also have my supportive girlfriend working with me. So it's pretty cool. I have a great group of people that really accept me and have seen me through my awkward transition and have respected me through it. And so I just kind of want to put this positivity out there that there are good companies out there that support trans rights. There are good people out there that support trans people. And if you're ever scared of that, if you're ever scared that, you know, people are going to look at you a certain way or people are going to disrespect you, just know that there are people out there that are good people and that will accept you and, you know, embrace you with open arms. Because I was scared of that at first, but it turns out that the world is much better than I thought. So if you're ever scared, just know that. And yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram or Twitter, the link will be down below. And again, if you want to support me, my album will be linked below. It would help out a lot. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.